Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit True Off My Chest and it's by user Deleted. My female 28 husband, male 30, is cheating on me with my high school bully, female 28. I just can't believe that he could fool me. His affair started 6 months ago. I could trace it 6 months back anyway. It could have been longer. There were no signs, no indications, no change of behavior, and no change in the bedroom. I just found out by accident 3 weeks ago when his phone was on the nightstand. My husband was sleeping with my high school bully. I grew up in a small town and this woman bullied me severely in middle and high school. After graduation, I did everything to find a job in a bigger city and moved to leave all the hurtful memories. I worked hard for a year, found an apartment, bought a car, and later started college. That's where I met my husband. We got married 2 years ago. I'm 8 weeks pregnant. He doesn't know yet. I will tell him eventually, don't worry. When I was in college, my bully reached out to me after we bumped into each other at a party. She was new in town and was glad she saw a familiar face. She never acknowledged what she did and I never confronted her. I didn't want to open old wounds. However, I wasn't going to befriend her, so I just rebuffed any attempt of reconnecting. She still moved in the same crowd as my husband and me. I never told my husband anything about her or our past. I wasn't even sure he knew her by name. 3 weeks ago, when my husband was in the shower, he got a notification on Messenger. I thought it was odd since he's not been active on Facebook or Messenger in ages. We know each other's codes, so I looked and there was her name and pictures telling him she missed his penis. I scrolled a few messages back and there was a full conversation. I felt sick and my eyes went blurry, so I just left the phone back where it was and acted like nothing. Over the next 2 weeks, I looked at his phone whenever I could. I found out that my husband deleted Messenger when he didn't use it, except for the time he forgot. I started doing the same. Whenever he's sleeping or playing games or out for a run, I took his phone and installed Messenger. I could trace back their relationship for 6 months. They've been sleeping together for 4. A lot of graphic descriptions of what they wanted to do or have done to each other, but also a lot about me, although it was often one-sided. It's always my bully asking questions and trying to get answers about me, and my husband either reluctantly answering or outright telling her not to talk about me, but they've discussed my sex life and apparently I'm vanilla. To her constant questions about if he preferred me better, he answered that it's different and he doesn't want to compare. Discussions about me often ended in him getting irritated and not answering for days. I have never cried in my whole life combined compared to these last few weeks. I want to leave my husband, but I don't want to tell him why. I don't want to give him or my bully the satisfaction of knowing that they hurt me. I just want to ask for a divorce and just tell him that I wasn't in love with him anymore and that I'm not happy in our marriage. I wouldn't be lying, technically, because he's not the man I loved and I'm not happy in our marriage. I haven't told anyone I've found out, but I've told my mom that I want to leave my husband and stated the reasons above. She went berserk. This is so out of the blue and moronic, and the first question she asked was whether I was cheating on him or not. This was a preview to what probably everyone else will think and say, but honestly, I would rather live with being the perpetrator than the victim this time. I just can't let that bitch hurt me again, watch me suffer and enjoy it. I just can't. I know I'm being irrational right now, but please put yourself in my shoes and tell me what you would do in my stead. Well, OP, first thing I would do if I was in your shoes is exactly what you're doing, getting a divorce. Good for you for not playing the pick-me game and for not excusing him or her, and most importantly, because you know your self-worth. So yeah, on that point, I absolutely agree with you. Where I don't agree with you, OP, is where you want to keep your support network at arm's length. I think you should confide on your family, at least, you know, your nuclear family, and of course your best of friends. You are going to need them, OP. They will be your support network and they will have your back. Because that's what people that love you will do when you tell them about what's going on in your life. Also, I don't know if you've done it, I would assume you did, but in case you haven't, the next time you check your future ex's phone, make sure to take screenshots or pictures of everything and send it to yourself for proof. And also start working on getting a kick-ass divorce lawyer. And what do you guys think about this situation, or what would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Dancing in a hot tub says, so you're going to keep quiet and open yourself up to bullying by protecting your husband and his mistress Hyde? Seems like they're going to win with your plan. Also, do you want your bully to be your kid's stepmom? Because if you go down this route of letting yourself be painted as the villain, that's a very real possibility. People will back them up, especially if they think you're the one that cheated. Heck, they might even root for those two as they see your bully as the one that came to your husband in his time of need. Think with your head on this. You aren't that little girl that got bullied and couldn't stand up for yourself, so don't act like it now. From one former bullied kid to another, stand up for yourself and control the narrative, and for God's sake, collect evidence. Huntress 145 says, don't keep the secrets of a cheater. You need a support system too. People can't properly support you if they don't know how and what you might need. You are not a victim, you are a survivor. You've already made the hard choice to leave and say you deserve better. You're not just taking it, you're fighting back and your strength shows. Don't let these people take the truth too. You don't need to be a martyr for them. Actions have consequences and they'll get theirs, and you will have a great life for yourself and baby. Deleted says, I would not take on the shame here. Screenshot all the messages and send them to yourself first. Don't let them make you into the perpetrator because you're setting yourself up. Lawyer up, and I would seriously think about whether you want a child with this man. It's still early enough to make that decision. You are not her victim. She honestly is a loser for going for someone married. You're only a victim if you choose to be one. So instead of rolling over and letting them paint you to be the problem, take back the power here. Get a lawyer quietly, decide about the baby, and drop the bomb and receipts all at once. Tell your mom he cheated and get support. Silence protects the cheater, not you. Additional information from OP's comments. Our apartment is rented. He's on the lease. We don't own much together. We have one saving account. We were trying and succeeded to get pregnant, and we were going to buy our first house together in a couple of years. I've been looking for a new apartment for 3 weeks now, and before I move out and tell him I'm getting a divorce, I will take my share of the savings to a private account. And even though none of those around me ever needed a lawyer to get divorced, maybe I should consult with someone anyway. I blame him more for the affair. He's the married one and supposedly to his true love, if I'm to believe him. I don't. I don't know if they'll end up dating. I've scanned 6 months worth of back and forth texting. There's no talk about love, relationship, or future plans. Almost just sex talk. I don't know why I'm not saying anything. I guess I'm not thinking clearly. Plus, I know she would enjoy knowing that they hurt me. I have thought about telling my mother eventually. She's great at keeping secrets and I don't want her to be disappointed in me. As for my pregnancy, I have unfortunately already bonded with my child. It would be another blow to get rid of it. Alright, well the community agrees. OP shouldn't stay quiet about this, and of course I agree with that as well. She should tell her friends and family about what's going on. And she should get a lawyer, and apparently OP is thinking about all of that. So now let's move on to the first of 2 updates. But of course before that, I gotta show you another playlist like this one that only has videos with updates on them. And now let's move on to the first of 2 updates. I shouldn't have deleted my throwaway before writing an update on what I have decided to do. Thank you all for the support. I have read all of your replies and I have had them into consideration when making my decision on how to deal with my failed marriage. Here are some points before the update. 1. Many said I needed a lawyer. I don't know about that. We don't have assets other than a joint account for monthly expenses and a joint saving account where both of us can do whatever withdrawals. I have already transferred my contribution to my private account. 2. I'm not trying to protect my husband and his affair partner or their reputation. I just don't want to give them, her, the satisfaction of knowing how much they've hurt me. I have read all of your comments and the majority think I have the wrong approach. I have decided to follow my gut. And 3. About terminating my pregnancy. I'm pro-choice of course, and I chose my baby even before I knew I was pregnant. I can't get rid of it only because I don't want to be with its father anymore. My brothers and I are children of divorced parents and we turned out decent enough. About my bully being the stepmom, the chance is slim and not good enough to convince me to get rid of my baby. I already love it more than anything in the world. I have broken the news to my husband that I am leaving him. I had already talked to my friends about it, and being unhappy in my marriage seemed a good enough reason for them to support me. One of them offered me her place until I find my own. I got really emotional and hugged her and cried because that meant that I could leave my husband's apartment now. He was shocked when I told him. I don't think he took me seriously at first, but he asked me if he did something wrong. I told him that I'm simply not happy with him, and I think I'm still too young to waste my life in an unhappy marriage. He said he had noticed me being distant this past month, but never would he have guessed I was unhappy with him. He begged me to tell him what was wrong because this can't be it. He believed me, however, when my friend came to take me with her. This was Thursday. He has been calling multiple times a day, but I haven't answered. So he showed up this morning at my friend's house and begged me to have breakfast with him. I agreed. He looked like he hasn't slept or shaven since I asked for a divorce. I told him that I was pregnant and that I'm keeping it, but he didn't have to be a part of the baby's life if he didn't want to. His phone was on the table and he got a notification from Messenger, so he had forgotten to delete the app before meeting me. When I saw her name, I told him, "Oh, is that her name? You know she used to bully me in school back when we both lived in the town." He froze. "Oh, haven't I told you about her?" I told him everything she did and how it affected me, how she never apologized about anything. He was silent the whole time and just looked at me. I ended up asking him to be careful with her. I don't think she's changed much, to tell you the truth. He grabbed my arm and just watched my face like he wanted to see if I knew something. My plan is to buy a small apartment because that's all I can afford right now. A 1-bedroom is enough until I have my baby and it's old enough to need its own room. I can upgrade later when I've saved more. I'm not leaving this city. I've spent my best years here and have the greatest memories. I have my friends around me and hopefully they will still be supporting me when the divorce is a fact. I have already filed for divorce, but he's probably going to ask for a thinking period. I'm not in a hurry though, everything will get better. For now, I want to cry, try to get over him and heal, and be there for my baby. Extended from OP's comments. I know, trust me, I wanted to hit him and scream in his face, "You can't guess why I'm unhappy?" But I had to control myself. Now, while I was talking, he said nothing. I talked for probably 30 minutes without him interrupting me. In the end, he did say he wasn't going to divorce me before he lost all hope. And when he grabbed me, he didn't hurt me. When I pulled away, he let go immediately. We said goodbye very soon after. He was crying on and off the whole breakfast. Also, I'm getting tested for STIs. He probably was talking to her about me leaving him. I don't know why else she would message him at 9 in the morning. I thought about that a lot, and to be honest, I don't think he's in love with her. I know he isn't. And she's probably not interested either when I'm out of the picture. I actually mentioned her this morning, hoping it would make him understand she won't be a great partner or a stepmother. Of course, I have no power to forbid him from being with her anyway, unless I stay with him and she stays as no more than an affair partner, but that won't do. Also, the reason for the divorce doesn't matter to him. He's going to have custody. I don't want him to have custody, but I can't take that right away from him. Unless he's a danger to the baby, I can't unfather him. This was a planned child, so he's not going to write off his rights to be the father. But I've decided none of this will prevent me from having my baby. Alright OP, well done. You told him you're leaving, you told him about how she bullied you and everything else, and apparently he knows you know, but you haven't said anything. Good for you. Anyways, let's now move on to the final update to see how this story ends. Hi again everyone. I have been here some weeks back lamenting the end of my marriage. I got so much support, it's crazy, I can't even describe it. I have deleted my account, but I miraculously found it when I googled the topic. Reddit never forgets. Heart. How am I doing? I feel much better now. I have, since the last update, moved from my friend's apartment. I found a 2-bedroom with decent rent. It is perfect for me. The pregnancy is going well. It's a girl. Heart. My ex, divorced isn't finalized yet, has asked me to be a part of the pregnancy and be present in the delivery room. I have refused both, of course, because it sounds crazy and very intimate. I promised him updates when something comes up, but as long as she's still in my belly, I don't think he has any right because he has no right to any part of my body anymore. We are discussing custody and divorce, and I have a great lawyer that my mother is paying for. I haven't discussed his infidelity with him or any reasons for divorcing him, even if he has tried so hard to talk and discuss the matter. All he gets from me is that my decision is final and that I'm not in love with him anymore. I have told my mother and my closest friends about what really happened. They were relieved that I wasn't just going mad, and probably that's why my mother is helping me with the legal fees. So let's talk about my high school bully then. My ex ended his relationship with her after I filed for divorce. Probably after my talk to him when I told him who she was and what she's done to me, because about a month ago, she texted me that she needed to tell me something. She has been sleeping with my husband and she was sorry about it. I feel like I need to tell you this. I answered her that he wasn't my husband anymore since I'm divorcing him, so it was fine, she could have him. She replied that, "No, I think our affair started before you two broke up. I'm sorry." I answered her that it didn't matter when it started since we're divorcing, but that I was curious as to why she would admit to doing something this pathetic now. She didn't answer. My ex never talked to me about that, and I have no idea if he knows that she has contacted me. Sometimes it feels like he knows that I know, the way he looks at me like he's about to cry. I hope he's remorseful, but I don't know. It feels safer to think that my baby's father has a conscience. It makes trusting her to live with him when she eventually is ready for shared custody. I have been good at avoiding him, that's until my girl is born and I need to learn to co-parent with him. I'm aiming for full custody for the first 3 years. He seems to be on board, unless he's just doing what I want to try to please me because he still has hope for reconciliation. I don't know what his reaction will be when he loses all hope. And about me, you ask? I have started seeing a guy. It's very early to say, but he's been very affectionate and understanding of my situation, and the fact that I want to take this very slowly. My ex doesn't know I'm dating yet. The guy is an ex-colleague who asked me out when he found out I was separated. I don't want my husband to try and delay the divorce if he found out that I'm seeing someone. And let's hope my high school bully doesn't find him, although this time I will be more open and tell my future partner about what happened. Extended from OP's comments. Telling him about how she bullied me was my desperate move to let him know what she was. When I told him how she tormented me and all the horrid things she did, I thought he wouldn't want someone like her near his child. I was right, because he ended it after our talk. Apparently, when he ended the relationship, she didn't take it well, tried to get him back, and threatened to tell me. That's why I'm inclined to believe that he knows that I know. This is all speculation, of course. I heard it from a friend of a friend, etc. My best friend, who I lived with for several weeks, is the one who did the poking around. I don't think he will ever acknowledge anything or apologize to me. Sometimes I think of what's going on in my life right now and how we should have been experiencing this together, enjoying the journey together, have him near me and talk to him about my worries and fears, and have him reassure me that we will be fine because he's there. My daughter will never see her parents as in love as they used to be, and it makes me sad. I hope she will forgive me. I wish he was still mine and none of this had happened, but this is the next best outcome, and I hope it was worth ruining our experience together for whatever he got from her. Well, OP, you followed through with everything that you wanted to do, and you got to take your power back in one message. Thank you for sharing your story with us, OP, and all the best to you and your daughter in the future. Take care. Now let's finish this video with a quick mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Joseph Nightwolf. She said, contact a lawyer. Okay. Injured at work. Ambulance, hospital, doctors, inpatient therapy, outpatient therapy, excellent. First class. Insurance didn't cut corners. During hospitalization, some small nerve damage was found. I was told it could last for years or fix itself. Immediate solution, a pill. Used for the treatment of mild Parkinson's, one a day if needed. It worked well. During my 8 months of therapy, I used about 15 to 20 pills a month. Physical therapy completed, great therapists, I returned to work. The pills were prescribed at a frequency greater than my use, but the pharmacy would call on schedule to pick up more. At one point, I realized they had not called, so I called. The prescription expired, I was told. Had plenty of unused pills, so not in a rush for more. So I contacted the insurance company. Told by them, case closed. I argued that this was part of the original diagnosis and might continue for years. Case closed was the response. I offered to pay for the pills but needed the script from the doctor to get more. I was told that all I could do was reopen the claim. Okay, thank you. How do I do that? The answer was given. Call a lawyer, she said. I had been treated very well by the insurance company up to this point without litigation, but okay, $84,000 plus their legal fees. The pills were 34 cents each, $81 a year. All I wanted were the pills. Note to underwriting. Don't be in such a rush to end workman's comp claims. I just wanted the pills. Well, OP, they told you that you should lawyer up to get this done, and you did. And it was over 1,000 times better. Thank you for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.